The number of COVID cases in Athens-Clarke County have decreased for 3 weeks in a row. Suspected illegal immigrants are arrested near a Jefferson County construction site. And why Black Lives Matter protesters are taking to the streets of Athens while Madison County residents stay home.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, I'm Kelsey Miller and this is Grady Newsource. There's been a drop in COVID-19 infection rates across Northeast Georgia. Grady Newsource reporter Nathan Moore takes us deeper into the new numbers from the Georgia Department of Health.
An attack by 2 pit bulls that left her severely injured. Now the county manager and animal control director are introducing revisions to the animal control ordinance.
So the Georgia Department of Health has been putting out these daily COVID-19 updates, which allow us to really get a good look at where we stand in our communities and in our local counties. Here you see a screenshot from their website. We're going to take a deeper look into the Northeast Georgia area here. All this data, again, coming from the Georgia Department of Health. Here we have in black over the last 2 weeks. Again, we're only really concerned with what's trending right now, where are things moving as of late. So all these numbers in the last 2 weeks, number in black is total cases, number in white is cases per 100,000 residents, which really lets you compare counties like Greene County and Clarke County who have vast disparities in total population. So as you can see, Clarke, as expected, up there in terms of total numbers because again has a much higher population, but you can kind of see where they stand in white in regards to the rest of the counties in the area. Now here, also on the Georgia Department of Health website, are these really useful graphs that allow you to see kind of how the trends have been going. These all date back to about September 5th, the ones we're looking at here, and you can see in general a nice decline in these rates, with the exception a little bit of Madison County there. Now here is what you can see on the website. If you move your mouse across the graph, this is Oconee County here, you can see day by day kind of what the trends are doing. And again, Oconee County having that nice decrease so far in rates over the last 2 weeks. And then lastly here, we have the rankings, again, from the past 2 weeks of all the counties in our area in total cases as well as cases per 100,000. As you can see, Clarke topping both of these, but you see some disparity in the other surrounding counties. So be sure to check out how your county is doing in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic over the last couple of weeks. For Grady Newsource, I'm Nathan Moore.
In July,
although COVID infection rates are dropping in our area overall, Barrow County School released data on September 22nd that 27 students at Bear Creek Middle School tested positive for COVID-19 or had direct contact with someone who tested positive with COVID-19. On that same day, 30 total students in the school system were quarantined for testing positive or being in direct contact with someone who tested positive. Of the approximately 14,100 students taking in-person classes, 59 were quarantined during the week of September 17th to September 23rd. Since August 17th, 113 students have quarantined for testing positive or being in direct contact with someone who tested positive. Since July 27th, 261 staff members have quarantined for those same reasons. Some of the public health safety precautions include mandatory masks, enhanced cleaning measures, and physical distancing. In addition, 134 staff members have received contact tracing through the Johns Hopkins University COVID-19 contract tracing program. Classes are currently full-time in person, but they may return to a hybrid format or go fully online if cases spike. During the Board of Commissioners meeting on September 22nd, the county manager and animal control director introduced animal control ordinance revisions that sparked controversy among dog lovers and humane societies in the community. Grady Newsource reporter Melissa Guh has the story.
in July, 15-year-old Jocelyn Stinchcomb survived an attack by 2 pit bulls that left her severely injured. Now the county manager and animal control director are introducing revisions to the animal control ordinance that some say is breed-specific legislation. Director of Barrow County Animal Control, Jacqueline Fryman, said they started working on the revisions in mid-August.
I don't want to say send a message to the owners, but to ensure that people are doing right by their animals and right by their neighbors, to keep everybody safe.
County Manager Michael Renshaw said the main revision is to move the classification of dangerous or vicious dogs from the Animal Control Board to the probate court. Once the judge decides that a dog is vicious or dangerous, the owner will need to spay or neuter their dog.
Typically, aggressive behavior and whatnot changes when a dog is altered to spay or neutered.
An owner of a vicious or dangerous dog moves to Barrow County. Renshaw said the revisions will reduce the amount of time they have to register the dog with animal control. They currently have 30 days. The revisions also require owners of vicious and dangerous dogs to have a $50,000 liability insurance policy. Inspired by LaGrange's ordinance, owners of pit bulls and other large dogs will also need to register where they live. Renshaw said this will help animal control officers track threatening dogs at large. Carrie McGarry, president of Pup and Cat Co., a no-kill humane society based in Winder, Georgia, said this will lead to breed discrimination. Others feel the same way. McGarry said she understands why the attack on Stinchcombe may have led to these revisions.
I just want to make sure that then, we don't turn it into something where now dogs are getting, attacked because of it.
On November 10th, there will be a public hearing in front of the Board of Commissioners who will vote on whether they pass and approve the ordinance revisions. Melissa Ga, Grady Newsource.
A group of Korean nationals employed at a construction site in Commerce were arrested by the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Grady Newsource reporter Kate Hester tells us what this means for Jackson County.
13 Korean nationals working at SK Innovation construction site in Jackson County have been arrested by ICE. The arrests come after a call to ICE from House Representative Doug Collins, who was contacted by a constituent claiming to have seen Korean nationals illegally working at the factory. This is not an isolated incident. Earlier in May, the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol stopped a group of 33 Korean nationals with fraudulent employment papers for the construction site at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta. SK Innovation is a Korean energy company building a lithium-ion battery plant in Jackson County. John Scott, the Director of Economic Development for Jackson County, said that the company chose this spot because of its proximity to Interstate 85 and Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. They then made a deal with the county, giving them a reduced tax rate for choosing this location.
Over the past 20 years, the land that they're on now has generated almost no tax revenue. Over the next 20 years, that same piece of land is going to generate about $270 million tax revenue for us, for Jackson County. And of that money, $161 million is going directly to local education.
The factory is set to be completed in 2026, and despite the employment problems, Scott does not believe that there will be any kind of setback. Kate Hester, Grady Newsource.
We have reached out to SK Innovation and are currently waiting on a response. The Georgia Department of Transportation has awarded the contract for construction of a roundabout on State Route 211 at Old Hog Mountain Road in Barrow County. Omshift Construction was awarded a contract with a bid of $3.13 million for the federally funded project. Construction is expected to be completed by April 30th, 2022. Information on scheduling, lane closures, and detours will be available prior to the start of construction. Protesters often gather to support causes like Black Lives Matter in downtown Athens, but this level of activism doesn't always cross county lines. Grady Newsource reporter Maddie McQueen is here to tell us more.
Driving past the arch in downtown Athens, it's common to pass by protesters for various causes. Because of the decision in the Breonna Taylor case, protests this past weekend were in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. However, in Madison County, the Black Lives Matter movement does not have the same prevalence.
We did have one peaceful protest. It was probably in the 1st of May here in Danielsville, maybe 15 people or so, loosely associated with Black Lives Matter, not an official march or anything like that.
Captain Patton says because Madison County is such a rural area, large gatherings like protests aren't common. Professor Ashley Crooks Allen, a PhD candidate within the Department of Sociology specializing in race and ethnicity and social movements, says Athens has a very diverse population that cares about social movement issues and hosts a lot of college-aged people.
They have more resources in terms of like time and energy, and can organize a lot really effectively. And so that's like one of the reasons why you would generally see that around the college campus as well anyway.
Professor Crooks Allen explains while the Black Lives Matter movement is pretty self-explanatory from the name, it is about Black liberation and putting an end to state-sanctioned violence against Black people.
It's really interesting that people tend to think of the movement as specific to police violence against Black men, when often, you know, the movement started in response to someone who was a neighborhood vigilante, not a police officer.
Professor Crooks Allen says the Black Lives Matter movement is separate from the defund the police movement, but that supporters from each have overlap because of some of their similar demands.
As far as allocating some of the resources for mental health professionals, stuff like that, we'd be all for that, but as far as defunding from our budget, at this point we're already underfunded to provide what services we can now.
From Madison County, Maddie McQueen, Grady Newsource.
Up next, Cassidy Hannon explains how Jackson County is managing to ensure car safety for the little ones while maintaining proper safety precautions during the pandemic. And if you live in Oconee County, you may soon have another option for internet coverage.
I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The Jefferson Police Department took part in National Seat Check Saturday by performing free car seat inspections at Jackson County Head Start, where they corrected installation errors on 7 car seats. Grady Newsource reporter Cassidy Hannon has more on car seat safety during the pandemic.
This year brings a unique challenge of staying hands-on with citizens while still taking the necessary precautions against the coronavirus. Safe Kids Jefferson, coordinated by Detective Trina Locke, is always accepting calls to make sure car seats are properly installed and up to date. According to the CDC, putting your children in the proper car safety equipment can reduce serious injuries by up to 80%.
So we're trying to still do some hands-on, but still, practice, that social distancing. We wear masks, we wash our hands. It's hard to do it with gloves on.
While some Save Kids coalitions are offering virtual car seat checkups, Locke says that Jefferson hasn't made that leap, but would be willing to do so if it was requested by a parent. With families staying home more often, Locke says they've noticed a decrease in the number of parents reaching out to make sure their car seats are in good condition.
We used to get a little bit more calls in as far as, people wanting to make appointments, come by and check out the car seat. We have noticed it has slowed down. Everyone, I would say in the last probably 3 months, we might have had 1 call.
While the number of parents requesting car seat checks has dwindled, more families than usual find themselves in need of assistance affording a car seat this year.
I've had a few that have asked for car seats, for assistance, you know, in car seats. And so we have given out some in probably the last 3 months or so. We gave away more car seats, but we haven't done any car seat checks. I think I've given away probably about 4, but we're not, you know, helping them install or showing them how to properly install it.
You can visit the website of the Georgia Governor's Office of Highway Safety for a county-by-county listing of contact information for this year's fitting stations. For Grady Newsource, I'm Cassidy Hannon.
You can call 706-367-5231 to schedule a car seat examination with one of Safe Kids Jefferson's child passenger safety technicians. Residents of Oconee County are no strangers to spotty internet, but a plan to bring better broadband internet coverage to the county may help to fix that. The Internet Project is set to build an 80-mile fiber ring around the county in an effort to increase wireless speeds and coverage. The Oconee County Board of Commissioners will vote on the project in next week's board meeting on October 6th. County Administrator Justin Kerouac says that reliable internet has been lacking in the southern portion of the county below Watkinsville. Data from the Georgia Department of Community Affairs Broadband Deployment Initiative says that 12% of the county is unserved by reliable broadband internet. The project, still in early stages of engineering and planning, is set to take 2.5 years to build.
Everyone, I'm Chelsea Perry bringing you your forecast for Northeast Georgia. Coming up next, we'll be talking about the 5-day forecast, as well as when you can start picking those pumpkins in preparation for the Halloween season.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
And now, the weather.
We're going to be experiencing some pretty moderate to low temperatures overnight for Northeast Georgia, ranging from the high 50s to low 60s. So we really are going to be experiencing that fall weather. This evening around 6, we're going to be experiencing a high of 77 degrees, so kind of warm, not really getting into fall weather there. Around 9 p.m., it will go down a little bit to 72, and at midnight, it will go into 70 degrees. Overnight, we're going to be experiencing a 40% chance of showers. It's going to be mostly cloudy with a low of 65 degrees. Winds will be around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow's temperatures are going to be pretty nice. We'll be experiencing temperatures ranging from the high 60s to the low 70s. We have an outlier in Augusta of 80 degrees, but we are really inching into that fall weather in the next coming weeks. All right, for Tuesday around 9 a.m., we're going to be having a high of 65 degrees. That temperature won't really go up too much as it will be around 67 degrees from noon to 3 p.m. All right, Tuesday, I wouldn't spend the day outside if I were you. We are having an 80% chance of showers and chance of a thunderstorm. The high will be 70 degrees and winds will be ranging from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here we have our 5-day forecast. So overall, Monday we'll be experiencing a high of 80 degrees and a low of 64 degrees. Tuesday will be a high of 69 degrees and a low of 53 degrees. Wednesday will be a high of 68 degrees and a low of 53 degrees. Thursday will be a high of 76 degrees and a low of 52 degrees. And Friday will be a high of 69 degrees and a low of 47 degrees. It'll be pretty chilly on Friday, differentiating from the other days of the week. Pumpkin season is coming up, and I spoke with Assistant Professor Andre Silva, who works for the Department of Horticulture for the University of Georgia.
We might gonna have a little shorter season than last year. I would say since we did not have hurricanes, we are on timing for harvesting.
Coming up on sports, a look back on our game against Arkansas and looking forward to our game against Auburn. College game day is in the Classic City.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
And now, sports.
SEC football is back. I'm here at the Butts-Mehre football facility. The Georgia Bulldogs left Fayetteville, Arkansas this past Saturday with a 37-10 win. The first half, the Bulldogs struggled on offense, trailing the Razorbacks 7-5 at halftime. There had been a lot of discussion of who would be the starting quarterback this year for Georgia, since transfer Jamie Newman opted out of the 2020 season. Redshirt freshman Dwan Mathis started for the Bulldogs, playing in his first game since November 2nd, 2018. Even though he threw a costly interception in the first quarter and only threw for 55 yards total, seeing Mathis back on the field was quite a feat. Mathis underwent an emergency surgery for a potentially life-threatening brain cyst in May of 2019. A year and 4 months later, he was taking the first snap of Georgia's 2020 season. The Bulldogs had 8 penalties in the first quarter and failed to score a touchdown in the first half. Junior Stetson Bennett took over the reins on Georgia's offense in the second quarter, but it wasn't until the second half when Georgia's offense started seeing results. Sophomore Zamir White ran for 20 yards to the Arkansas 28-yard line for a first down. With 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, sophomore George Pickens caught a 19-yard pass from Bennett, running it in for a touchdown. Bennett went for the 2-point conversion, and for the first time, Georgia took the lead in the game, 13-10. Georgia kept up this momentum for the remainder of the game, and Arkansas never scored another touchdown. Bennett finished out the day with 211 passing yards, completing 20 of 29 passes. The Bulldogs are preparing for their first home game of the season this upcoming Saturday against Auburn. College game day will be in the Classic City for the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Sanford Stadium will have fans in attendance, but it will not look like the usual sold-out crowd that many Georgia fans are used to. Due to social distancing measures, Sanford Stadium will only reach 20% capacity. For students, this means that just over 3,200 seats will be available. Even though the stadium will not feel quite normal this year, fans still have the opportunity to tailgate. The Classic Center is partnering with the Athens Convention and Visitors Bureau to create an indoor, socially distanced tailgate experience for $30 a person. Check out classiccenter.evenue.net for more information. It is not confirmed who fans will see starting out leading Georgia's offense. Bennett performed well against the Razorbacks, and Coach Smart said that he, quote, was able to execute the plan. However, sophomore JT Daniels was on the radar originally for the game against Arkansas, but he failed to be cleared. He still has not been cleared for Georgia's first home game, and it is looking like it may be another game time decision of who will start QB for the Bulldogs. Georgia Chambers, Grady Newsource.
Coming up, how food insecurity is on the rise in Barrow County since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hello.
Hi, I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come
on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini and they're the cores that we cut away. Not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta. A different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign, those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me MAXIE, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Thank you for watching Grady Newsource. I'm Kelsey Miller, and have a great night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?